do outro lado, no norte, tem uma espécie de circo.
Oi?
Com uma banda.
He's like, huh?
Difícil de dizer.
Excuse you?
E
I
ao
heard
nordeste
I heard that word.
tem a igreja
So,
deles.
which is interesting.
What did you just say?
É o que
He
o Corvo
knows
tava
that
falando.
he has some type of
Bunker. Ponto.
connection to the
Pelo
circus.
Ele tava trancado quando eu passei lá.
Considering how he grew up, it wouldn't surprise
dá
me
pra
if he
arrombar?
hadn't known.
Eu não tentei. Meu objetivo era
Yeah.
mapear o máximo possível e pegar o
And
máximo de informações de
also,
vocês que eu consegui.
as
Eu nem tinha visto
remembering he was
Ah.
the devil, because he obviously remembers it.
Nossa estratégia no primeiro dia era se separar, pegar as
he
informações das
might know
equipes, se
the
encontrar,
history
descobrir
behind
quem eram os
it.
sacrifícios e quem poderia ser o melhor grupo pra fazer algum tipo de...
Yeah, because that all depends on how much of Diabo's memories he gets.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about that yesterday.
And how much he's
I
allowed to
was-
remember after
Yeah.
being left.
I think he remembers what he did at Amphitrion's side, for sure.
Hmm.
And I think he remembers the last scene of Calamidade with Kian.
Yeah, but that's the question. Is it Henri being o Diabo, or is it o Diabo using
Being
Henri, like
yeah.
being a passenger in Henri's
That-
body?
Is a good question, but I don't know. In the way of like, you think Henri had no control over that?
I think maybe when o Diabo was in o Diabo form, it was not
Maybe
Henri
he didn't. Yeah,
that was in
it
control.
might be. Yeah,
So something like offering a
but
pact.
he knew he was the devil.
Yeah. Like but it's not like necessarily him that was acting. So it's like
Yeah.
he might be able to remember it from like a hazy point of view, but not necessarily have all of the memories of o Diabo.
Okay, that makes sense.
And because we know that wielders are allowed to make pacts. So he was for sure allowed to go to Kian with the intention of, I'm going to offer you a pact, but then turn into Diabo because he's the one who actually has the power to do it.
Yeah.
Just because there's this thing of like being able to switch between the two with the other entities.
There is
It's-
none of that.
Yeah, it's been like,
Yeah.
oh, you've completely taken over the body of the person, and it's the entity being at the forefront. Like, yeah, it has like Anfitrião remembers being Arnaldo, but it's Anfitrião who's
But
there
it's
now.
not Arnaldo controlling him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Anfitrião who just has absorbed Arnaldo's being,
Yeah.
and it feels the
It's
same
same
with
as
Magistrada.
Kian, for example.
Yeah, like
Luciano's not there anymore. He has all the memories and may have some feelings of
Yeah,
Luciano's.
of
but
being
he's not
Luciano.
Yeah, but he's not Luciano
Yeah.
anymore because he has all the other memories
yeah, and there's
and all
the
the
question
living experience of being Kian.
of like how much was the Kian side able to influence whilst being somewhat dormant in Luciano.
Yeah.
Where I think o Diabo definitely has influence, and it's more like a can't be o Diabo all the time, so it's like there's Henri in the meantime type thing,
Yeah.
like the whole being used as a tool.
Do you think that happens with the heirs after the devil has died? And like all the heirs are part-time devil?
So
'Cause-
current theory for what like HEXATOMBE is about is that like all of the sacrifices has been an heir that has connected to o Diabo at some point, not necessarily being full wielders, but having had
yeah.
o Diabo in their body. Has had that transformation thing happen.
Yeah. But do you think that only happened after the Diabo that was
No.
their supposed father died?
No, I don't think so. I think that's Diabo switching at will. And then what this
Okay.
potentially could lead to is finding the one true wielder. So like bringing Diabo in its full form, in which would be a similar case to Anfitrião or as Magistrada.
Okay. Yeah.
So this has
That
been
makes
like a
sense.
temporary
So
inhabitation.
there's a huge chance after this we might lose Henri forever.
If he wins.
Yeah, if he wins, and if not, he's gonna die. So
if they but even if he wins, they like I yeah.
You think he would choose not to be the devil?
Well, I mean, they are trying to fuck up the whole ritual thing, and
Yeah,
I think
but
so.
I don't think Henri's gonna like that.
No, I think he would because of the whole intro speech from Selbit, where it sounded like Henri was so aware that he was being used. So if Henri becomes like a full vessel for Diabo, Henri's still gonna go, and I think Henri knows that.
Do you think they actually have an option in the end? Because we were talking about this all being kind of scripted, and there being like an ultimate force commanding the story. I don't know if he has an option. I hope he has, but there might be an ending where he doesn't.
Yeah, because the whole thing of like, oh, the final sacrifice will still die. I think that's them turning into Diabo, and then as a thanks for bringing Diabo fully to life, whatever, they get a wish, and then that wish is going to backfire because it's a pact, and they can't deal with the sanity damage that making a pact brings. And that's the whole Twisteroo rug pull of like, you can have whatever you want. It's not my fault you're too weak to deal with the consequences.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I think a big theme of this is about choice and agency, and how even if you're Marcado, there are still, whilst it might not be destiny in the sense of like the change of reality, there are still things that are out of your control, and the push and pull of having agency versus being forced into circumstances that you can't change. So I don't actually know what I think. I think it's going to be a halfway point. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a fully one way or the other.
Okay.
Because there's several things of that, of like, technically they have a mark and they're supposed to be able to choose their own destiny, but also they were they were forced into a body they don't remember if they agreed to, and into a ritual they know nothing about.
All their marks are corrupted as fuck.
So like, or that's just how marks are. Like, because if you think about this Joseon, all of them were marked, and all of them still ended up following the destiny that was set out. Like,
that's true.
Kian was brought about despite, but also because they were supposed to not follow destiny, but still being controlled through destiny that somebody else had made for them.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's interesting that, to me, this feels like
life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think that is the point, is that we both control everything about ourselves, and also we control very little of our circumstances, because we control our own actions and reactions, but we're put into circumstances that are being chosen for us based on everybody else's choices for themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have both at the same time. And this, to me, is the first season where our protagonists could not be here and the story would still unfold. Like, we could switch the camera to any of the other groups and still get the story without them. Because the other seasons, like, the stories there could not have happened without our agents being there. Specific,
Yeah.
and even more so with Desconjuração and Calamidade, they were literally the chosen prophesized ones. This is the first time where they don't matter. They've potentially literally changed out the people inside of these bodies, and it does not matter for this thing happening. It might matter for the outcome, but like any of the other group would also have had some kind of influence on the outcome, you know? The
Yeah.
main event of it is not about them. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
You said,
I just
do
wish
you
I had an
think
answer.
that's life?
It's complicated. It's because in our lives, if you think about it, how much power do you have if you have power over yourself, but most people around you don't? Because that's the reality in Ordem. They have the
You,
marks and they have power over themselves, but all the other people that are not marked are bound to the what is prophesized or whatever.
I would say you have just as much power as you have in reality.
Yeah. You have
Because
absolutely no power over anything but yourself.
yeah, like it doesn't change. Whether
You
the
can change, but for that you gotta, like, for example, if you gotta be um you gotta be it's complicated. Like, we can always change something.
Mhm,
For example, I can change your mind if I find the correct way to do it.
mhm.
If I give you the reasons that
The
you
thing,
need to hear, but that's how they act with NPCs.
well, the thing is, it's you're not changing my mind. You
Yeah,
are putting me in a circumstance where I can choose to change
to
my
change your
mind.
exactly,
It's the
exactly.
whole thing of like, when people are saying, tell bands like, you saved my life, and they're like, no, you did that. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
there's outside forces that helped enable
I
you to do
helped
that
you.
easier.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, every choice you make is you making that choice.
you exactly.
And it's also
Even
the
if
whole thing
somebody
of like,
gives you the entire thing that you need to accomplish something, you are the one accomplishing it.
you're the one who have to do it.
Yeah,
And it's the thing of like, you like, on one hand, we have only control of ourselves and no control of our circumstances. But if we get enough people together to exercise their control over themselves, we can
yeah.
then collectively
Change
change the
the
circumstances.
circumstance.
You
Exactly.
need more people to be able to change the bigger picture, which is where like things
Exactly.
like revolutions and grassroots organizations and stuff like that happens. Like, it's, you both have, like, I
Yeah.
was about to say no responsibility and all the responsibility, but no, you always have responsibility. But it is this dichotomy of accepting that you have no power over others, but also that together you have all of the power.
Exactly.
And that's, something we
And
can use a
that's
lot more
exactly
of
like an
in
RPG.
politics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like one person can't make the entire story. That's a book. You can have
Exactly.
a GM who has written an
Just
outline and
an
controls the world, but however you respond to it is always gonna change it. And when you get a group together responding individually, it's gonna sometimes make really big changes based on how the outline looks.
yeah.
Which is also why, back in Calamidade, when we were talking about how, like, does it matter if destiny is written and locked in place for you or not? Where I was like, well, if you don't know about it, then it doesn't. Because it's
Yeah.
gonna feel the same to you.
It is gonna feel the same to you.
obviously it's not gonna be the same, but like the difference is
Oh,
so
yeah.
small because we don't know that about us now. All we can do is just be like, I stand by what I'm doing. And if that
Yeah.
if my conscience is me or somebody pulling the strings at the end of the day, it's not going to
Doesn't
make
really
the
matter.
biggest difference for my
Yeah.
life. It's still probably gonna, do what it's gonna do.
Yeah.
And in terms of something like this, well, they can, being marked, if it's like you said, in a world full of
They can only
people
control so much.
who's being controlled, is exactly the same amount of control if they were marked in a world full
Yeah.
of people who were marked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, sure, they can
They
maybe take on the five entities or who like exerts control, or in this case like Magistrata, who holds the reign, like the chains of reality or whatever.
Yes.
But the only change there would be they would then have all of the control, and then suddenly you would be, people in life would have be in the exact same situation. You just suddenly stood with all of the responsibility.
Yeah.
Which sounds fucking terrifying and awful, I'm not gonna lie.
And I think that's exactly what the marks are, actually. They're just like the power to control yourself.
Yeah.
The
And I
power
think,
to be slightly different and have a different type of thought process, maybe.
yeah.
But it's not you can always control so much.
And I think
They're not going to be able to control everything.
yeah, I think in that way, this season and the themes this is exploring is a really great contrast to Calamidade, where
Yeah.
you almost got the sense with Anfitrião being like, you get to choose, you could take it, you could have all the choice, you could have all the power, being like almost
I
making
love
it
how
feel
dramatic he
like
was about it.
you are the chosen ones, you get to make choices, and that's the big thing.
Yeah.
And then this is the down to earth actual reality check, being like, well, we all make choices every day. Like,
Yeah.
just because you have the choices doesn't mean that it's like a big world changing power.
Yeah.
It's just
Anfitrión
life.
made that seem, especially giving the example that Dungchi accidentally saved Kian.
Yeah.
But it's like, did he save Kian or did he just make a choice?
Exactly.
He just made a choice. Any other NPC could have made the same choice.
Yeah.
But it wasn't an NPC, it was him.
So yeah, of course there is something between like, oh, some kind of entity gets to control what happens in the world and you need people to counterbalance that. But even so, we haven't fully explored how much intention there is behind the chains of reality. Like, is it a single being being like, I'm gonna write this story and I have this motive in mind, or is this something more flexible?
I think that's the thing.
It's more flexible.
The chains of reality right now don't seem to have a specific motive.
Which in to me, then that's fine. Like, I think that's, life doesn't have that, whether it's ruled by a group, like democratic group of people in masks, or by all of us. Like, it that's life. It's different if it was like a straight up dictatorship,
Yeah, my thought is just like, that is the paranormal. The chains of reality are part of the paranormal, in a way.
Yeah.
So, we don't know what exactly is the other side. We don't know exactly how things come to reality, but it is something that eventually will be known.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, we will never understand.
I don't think it well, will it have to be known?
I don't know if it will have to be, but I think there needs to be an explanation on what makes the difference, because that's what we were saying. The marks actually, in the way that they act, don't make a difference outside of the meta that it's like a player, you know?
Yeah.
Outside of that meta, it doesn't make a difference.
But honestly,
But
yeah, no, continue.
Selbit said that there is a meaning in game of what the marks are.
Yeah.
But if the marks don't make a difference in, like, it's just a choice that anybody could have ever made, based on the personality of the character, the master could do that. Why are they able to kill, not kill, but I'm gonna say kill, like kill Amphitryon, kill Magistrada and stuff, and actually change something? Why is it being said to us that they can actually change something when we don't know what they are changing?
Okay,
Yeah?
so I'm gonna get a little even more philosophical with this, and I'm gonna try, because I had an earlier thought, and I'm gonna try and mix it all together. First off, I am fully convinced that Realidade cannot exist without o outro lado. I think they have been intertwined since forever, since Big Bang, since Calamidade, since
Yeah.
whatever it was, the beginning of time. I think it's literally part of the universe,
Yeah.
like existence. And just like anything part of existence, things don't always make sense on a big, higher level storytelling thing. And now this is very much like because this, this is a story.
Yeah.
But it's also a universe. And part of me wonders if, like, the point is, how to explain this? Like, when you're saying, like, why are they able to make choices if it doesn't really make differences in the end? Like,
Yeah.
to me, I think there's almost something beautiful in them being different but not the chosen ones,
I like that. I like
about
that.
them not, like, yeah, they have, there's something that's given them some kind of control, but it's not ultimate control. They're not fucking superheroes. And how, like, it mirrors reality, and like,
Yeah.
I would be okay if it wasn't explained, and if part of the point of Ordem is exploring humanity and our existence through a lens
Yeah.
of RPG and paranormal, and just being like, well, the whole, like, you have control, but you also don't have control, and the being okay with not being able to control everything, whilst at the same time taking responsibility for what you can control, and finding ways to make meaningful change through community. That itself is a good enough reason and good enough message for me to accept if it doesn't go further than that.
Yeah.
And then the thing about killing,
Yeah.
I don't know if they kill or if they just send back.
Yeah.
Because I think,
The thing
they
is,
just kind of
the
go
relics cannot be
back
killed.
to outro lado, It's like
Yeah.
we're pausing your direct influence here, but just like anything else,
Yeah,
there's a give and
exactly.
take, and we'll have to continue doing that because that's how our universe functions.
Yeah. They cannot kill the relic itself. That thing is not going anywhere. But they can kill the body that is being controlled by it.
And in some way, I feel like you can just kind of see it in the way of, like, well, in IRL, the real world, we all have different strengths and different things we can do. Like, some people are really fucking great runners and go to the Olympics. Some people are really good at teaching, and they make sure that future generations can carry on what we've been doing. You know, like everybody has a skill and something, and some of them are trainable, some of them are born with. There's that swimmer guy
Mhm.
whose genetic like mutations, whatever, does that he's got freakishly long arms and is best swimmer.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's Michael Phelps.
Oh,
There's something about his joints and his limbs.
really?
Yeah, he's like,
Never seen that.
it's why whenever like people are like, oh, trans people, they're cheating because the way their like anatomies and genetics are put together, they're at an advantage. And then you look at every single Olympic winner ever, and you find out
Yeah.
that most of
All
them
of
also
them have
genetic
a lot of advantages.
So anyway,
Yeah.
what if this is just another one of those where it's like there is this push and pull between two sides. They both need each other to exist, and to make sure that one never fully goes without the other, we need a force that wants to mix them, o outro lado, wanting to come to Realidade, and we need people in Realidade who will send them back.
Yeah.
What
could
if it's
be.
just that?
And they just gave them a tiny bit more of power.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Or
you can be more aligned with us if you want.
or eventually maybe, you know, change of reality was actually an overstepping of o outro lado that was not meant to be there, and we can find a way to write that, and then everybody has choice, and where the world continues both forever changed, but not in a visible way. You know, I don't know. And that's kind of what I mean as well by I don't know if the outcome of this will be a they have no choice or they do have choice. I think it'll be an in between. Like it won't be like a clear either or, because if they did get rid of the change of reality, I still think, looking at how the world functions, it would look the same. They would just know no one's pulling the strings. Which is also kind of an in-between, you know, like you have all the power and you have no power. You've made fundamental changes to how the world functions, but the outcome is visibly no different. Like that kind of dichotomy tension. I will also say, as soon as they, from like a it's an RPG system perspective. I know Pedro thinks that there is a real potential for the world ending in Calamidade because Kian's plan would mean the world ending. And I do agree that if Kian was able to succeed, the world would end. I don't agree that I think that can be a possible outcome, because then technically every single at-home campaign can never advance past the point of 2003, because that's when the world ended.
2003?
Yes, well, I'm assuming Calamidade will be in 2003 or 2004, like set in 2003 or 2004.
2003?
Sorry, 2023.
I was like, what?
2023 or 2024.
I think it will be either 2024 or 2025 at this point. In reality, like in the system, but I'm not sure.
I don't know, because he would have to explain, like fill in what happened in all that time. Like,
yeah,
I think the reason why we're stuck
is because be able to.
But unless he has a reason to, narratively wants to do that, I think we'll just continue, because it seems like
it might be 2023, yeah,
or like early 2024. Because like it seems that he's continued straight on, so he doesn't have to explain why things have stood still, because like why would otherwise we would have to start with all of the relics having been found, because like there's just no believability that whole thing just stood still for 2 years. But yeah, that's
And
why
I
I'm
don't
like,
want
you
them
know,
to find the death relic without us watching
without
it.
us. Yes.
I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Take me back to Santa Bersa.
Which is honestly, because I saw somebody comment on like, oh, it's because when I was explaining the whole time theory thing of like, oh, what if there are like preset schedules for all the other teams, and whether or not our characters get to interact with those schedules depends on what the players do here, not if
Yeah.
Selbit thinks it'll be a good interaction. And then somebody says, oh, I hope not. I want to see all the action. And I think the fact that there is absolutely no way we get to see
No
all the
way.
action is amazing,
No.
because it feeds into
love
this
that.
idea of like,
It makes it more realistic.
yeah, like these people
love
are
it.
not the protagonists of a story. They are people in a world.
They're
And
exactly.
the world does not revolve around them.
I love it.
Which is like in Disconjuração, literally the world had revolved around them. Like their existence in this giant world-changing prophecy had been prophesized since forever.
Yeah.
You know, this is not that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And whether it's just like, you know, a sub theme or a more of a theme for this season, or if it's going to be continued on throughout all the like Calamidade, and that's going to be part of the point of it all. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it could be one of the themes, one of the points, because we've had this whole thing about control and destiny.
It could
and what
be
does
a
it
new
mean?
point into Calamidade, I think. But I don't think the being protagonist thing, like it happened in Desconjuração, will end. I think both will go side by side.
Yeah.
Showing both how important they are to the story and how there is stuff that had prophecies with them on them and whatever. And there will also be this more human reality part to it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good balance of stuff.
Yeah. I don't know how Calamidade is going to end, but I hope that it ends
it's gonna be long.
in a status quo where like the lives of the people involved are forever changed, but the world isn't. And it'll give you the option.
Yeah.
The problem of writing big world-ending stories is that you kind of ride yourself out of the option of doing anything else afterwards.
I'm gonna say, I think the end will not involve blocking the paranormal from reality.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible. Because that would end the whole system.
Yeah, exactly.
It just doesn't make sense. And it also won't be Kian killing half the planet.
If it is, then I fucking hope they don't do what Marvel did and just say, but then we fixed it. No, you fucking stick to that.
No. Either you do it or you don't.
It would mean they would have to make an entire new rule book, probably, or at least lore book.
Exactly.
But you know,
it would be like there needs to be a new rule book that explains how reality works after half the population is dead.
And that's
like how police will act upon it, how everything is being dealt with, because that's a world crisis. That would be worse
because you're missing half of the fucking resources.
Yeah.
And that's been a interesting dichotomy for me to think about that I'm assuming they also struggle with, which is the fact that Ordem is both a system and a world given out to people to play in, and a series. And anything that happens in the main canon series is gonna influence will affect. Like the rule books are saying, like talking about Bellissimo.
Ignores that.
Yeah, but like as it is, that's you choose to ignore. That's not the system. Like there's like, which is like, if Selbit wanted to kill it all off, then you have a system where people are like, well, what's the point? I mean, sure, we could make some little detective things, but also we'd all kind of have the whole like, well, the world is doomed.
Yeah.
And it must be
And it would
difficult.
also be like, oh, okay, so the year is 2022 for forever.
Yeah.
Like time travel and shit.
And in some way, I honestly would love more small stories. Like, I
Yes,
hope
yes,
with all
yes.
of my might that Calamidade Part 2
It's
isn't
not
the
the end.
end, but I would
Oh
be
my god,
so
yes.
down for just like little small town has issue with paranormal and we
Oh,
deal with
yeah.
that. Like more
That's
of O
exactly what I
Segredo
want.
na Floresta instead of as incredibly cool as the whole Kian thing was.
Yeah.
It is kind of the point of like the next thing you have to do has to be bigger, and once you had a fight for the survival of the entire universe of
Yeah.
all of existence, you can't go bigger.
I think after Calamidade there should be a 3 to 5 episode little thing here and there. Or like once every 2 years or once a year or whenever Selbit wants. Just,
Yeah,
so we have a new little story here,
yeah, like
you know?
I'd
Because
love
it's
him
cool.
to do spin-off things, and like I still think you have all of the past to go into as well. Like, are you kidding
Yeah.
me? There's so much mythology you can tap into
Oh,
and pull
hell
from.
yeah.
um I would love to see what the occult in Egypt looked like, you know? In fact,
Yes!
ancient Egypt, not current day Egypt. Egypt is still a
Yes,
thing,
yeah, 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 yeah,
obviously.
yeah. Just like we saw the Rome
Yeah, but like actually
agents.
like a Calamitas season.
Yeah,
Um
that would be so cool.
yeah.
Oh my god, I wish Calamitas was a season.
And then
That was
like
so good.
if he wants to, and it sounded like last time I heard him talk about it that he did want other people to be able to GM, I would say Selbit could do the bigger in the past stuff, touching on things we've heard rumors of, like perhaps we get a fucking season set in Sumeria, and like visiting some of those which are like they are important for the continuity of Ordem to exist, that that you don't make end final chances to Calamitas, for example.
Yes.
But future smaller like stories, even exploring different countries or different places of Brazil, of just like the type of stories you play at your own table of we
Yeah.
are agents going out to help people, could
Yeah.
easily be given to other GMs because it wouldn't affect the entire world.
I agree.
Like, especially if
And
it's not Ordo Realitas, like there must be others. Like, you know, then it's fine.
I think the ending that I think would be the best for Calamidade would probably be like more peaceful instead of a whole part of it ending.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying peaceful as in no fight.
Oh yeah,
Or
and here's
no
the
death.
thing.
Or
When
no
I
nothing.
say like
I'm just saying like a stabilized
yeah,
membrane. Not fully stopped, but stabilized.
and
We have
it's
less cases,
here's the thing.
but
You
not.
can like they can get rid of Kian. They can't get rid of
Yeah.
the entities.
Yeah.
And honestly, they can get rid of all of Ordo Realitas. Like, if we want earth-shattering
Yeah.
tragedy, you could kill all those characters and the world can still continue. You just can't kill
Yeah.
the world.
You
know?
cannot kill the world.
Yeah.
Which is what Kian wants.
Yeah. Or you do the thing of like, okay, if Kian does it and there's a tragedy and somehow suddenly it feels like he won, and then you realize, wait, we don't function without the other side. I'm fine with it being reversed, but it has to be earned, which in my mind would mean another 4 to 5 season arc. So I don't know
Yeah,
if he's ready to
yeah.
sign on for that.
I
Like,
don't know. I don't know if it will be the best option.
yeah,
You
because
know.
like he could do that. You know, he could give the win to
But
Kian.
I
I just feel like
think
that would mean you'd have to continue.
I'm gonna be very honest. I think Calamidade will still have 2 more parts.
Question.
Yeah.
And I'm going to preface and say, regardless of what you answer,
Yeah.
because how much time has passed, I will not take it for 100% true still.
Okay.
Was it ever said that Calamidade Part 2 would be the end of the main story?
If I'm not wrong, it was never said.
Cool. Because everyone's acting as if it is. What if it's just...
Selbit has said that he does not like to prolongate stories
Yeah.
to the point that it becomes one of those series like Game of Thrones that people say that the last season was horrendous.
Yeah.
He just don't want that to happen to Ordem. So I think the main table might be the last.
So
but I'm not sure.
Here's what I'm thinking. When people say the main table, they're thinking of the order.
The main seasons.
Yeah, no, but they're thinking of like it is that specific order group agent's story, right?
Yeah.
I think this is Kian's story.
What do you mean, Calamidade?
All of it has been Kian's. Because Iniciação was part of Desconjuração, and O Segredo na Faesta was part of Desconjuração, and the Desconjuração brought Kian.
Yeah.
And then Kian is here for Calamidade. It could just be the end of the Kian arc.
I'm gonna say one thing that I already said before. I don't know if it was on your chat, if it was with Pedro. I don't know who I said this to. But I genuinely believe that it is all Agatha's story. Because it is known that Selbit created Iniciação by creating Agatha. And in my opinion, it will only end if Agatha dies. Which I hate. Which I fucking hate. I hate. I don't like this.
I see what you're saying.
So I'm hoping she don't die. Because then it will never end.
From the point of like what the plot has been structured about.
Yes.
It's been Kian.
Yeah.
The entire time.
No, I agree.
So like,
but
here's the with like to avoid the Game of Thrones, you could end the Kian arc, and then you can do something else.
Oh yeah. I agree completely.
And
I think that would be the whole point.
Continue with this. What I mean is that you could still, if you wanted to, continue with some of the same. Like, if Artur survives, he could continue, and it wouldn't be prolonging the story because the story arc is Kian.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you think Calamidade will end as soon as whatever Kian's planning ends or he dies?
I think when Selbit says he doesn't want to prolong a story until it ends with Game of Thrones, I think the story arc that he is talking about is the story of Kian.
Okay.
And whether or not he has decided if it goes past Calamidade, if it's Calamidade Part 2 and then another season, that's it, or whether or not he has decided if he wants to do another arc, I don't know. But I think structurally looking at it, it's the if there is more, this is the Kian narrative. And once you end that is an end point of you have a beginning and a middle and an end, and people can jump off or people can jump in.
I agree with
that's what I mean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So because when people say main, I get the feeling when people say the main table, they're talking about the characters,
the players.
The players and people like Artur, where I'm like, I don't think I could easily see him continue or be in like little one-off seasons, whatever, without it tying together in the same narrative arc. Because it's not Artur's story.
Yeah, I get
it's Kian's. Yeah. And I agree that Ordem is heavily intertwined with Agatha. but I
Yeah.
don't think the narrative is. She could die, and you would still need
I
the
think
end of
there's
Kian.
something about the narrative that is tied to her. I just don't know what. And to be honest, I don't want to discover, because if I have to discover with her dying, I'd rather not discover.
Mhm.
But I do feel what you're saying about it being the Kian arc, and
Yeah.
that's what he means by not prolonging it being to end with Kian once for all.
Yeah.
Being by
Because
him winning or him losing, I don't care.
yeah, because Kian, that whole thing started before Agatha,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and she
And he's
wasn't.
the 2,000-year-old dude,
Yeah,
so
and like
it makes sense.
her doing the body switch was not even like it didn't change anything about his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think she can be like the heart of Ordem as a thing, but like the story is his.
Yeah.
This
Makes sense.
narrative is his.
He's the mind, she's the heart.
Yeah. Which is like, honestly, for something like Panacea and Tenebris and stuff, that it would make total sense to me if that actually doesn't get explained in Calamidade Part 2. If we say that Calamidade Part 2 is the end of the Kian arc, would make so much sense to me, because it's like when you have like a 2-season thing in a show, and then you're like, and then we've sprinkled in, there is more in this world, and if we want to, we can take that up and explore that, but it's not crucial to the original. At least Panacea. I don't know about Tenebris. But it seems like there could be its whole own thing with that has nothing to do with the Kian narrative, which is also why I kind of want. I'm intrigued to see. It's why I want this spin-off to still somehow have ties to the Kian narrative, unless it's a pure spin-off, which is hard to judge for me because I haven't seen the other two.
Yeah, you haven't seen the other two.
Where it's like we don't touch the main narrative at all.
It's complicated to explain to you because I cannot explain to you.
Because in my mind, the fact that
I like your theory that Kian is in the end of this.
Yeah.
That one first theory. I like that theory, but I think there might be something else that I cannot tell you.
Yeah. Because that's what I mean with like, to me, it also makes sense if these are complete spin-offs. And even though Henri is here, it doesn't mean it has to relate to the Kian narrative.
It's just in the same universe.
It's just in the same universe. The universe isn't Kian, for sure. Yeah. Which is also why I'm like, I don't think he should be able to kill off the universe.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Then
I don't think
suddenly all Ordem stories have a relation to Kian.
And also, we've seen how pathetic that man is. And how scared he is of losing. He thinks he's way more powerful than he actually is. He's powerful, but he thinks he's way more powerful than he actually is. He thinks he's able to kill every single paranormal, everything that is in Earth. He's not.
I think him also having a side of him that's scared to lose and coming across as pathetic as that, because of that, is incredibly realistic. I think every single powerful
I love when villains are
figure
like that.
has that, and that's what makes them dangerous.
I'm gonna give an example.
They're desperate. I genuinely think you could say this about every single tyrant, horrible person, like Hitler. His entire thing was based on fear.
Yeah, literally. It was based on his insecurity with his appearance. Yeah.
And even though it's saying like, no, we are the powerful ones, we should, therefore the Aryan race should be allowed to exist. In that statement is if you have to wage war for that to be true, you are scared that the others will actually overtake you, and therefore your actions are contradicting your beliefs of you are more powerful.
Exactly.
So that to me is just like it's key of being that type of person.
If you have to fight so hard and be so angry for your truth to be true, it means it was never true in the first place.
Yeah. Because as we started this whole little thing with.
Yeah.
Individually, we have no power except for ourselves, but
Except for ourselves.
collectively, we have all of the
We
power.
can have more
And
power.
that's also true against tyrants and dictators and fascists
Exactly.
and all of the horrible people in the world.
Let's kill all of them.
That's not what I said. And I can't decide if I'm gonna say I agree or not. I was thinking more like, you know, overthrow the
You could kill.
government
Well,
instead of
yeah.
going straight to it's just, you know, I think we're looking for the same outcome. I was just approaching it.
Yeah.
a bit-
I think it's two approaches for
Yeah.
the same outcome. Yeah.
Yeah. I just voted today, dear viewer in the future, in my local elections. And you know what?
Go
If
do
you
it.
want to go make change in your world, that's a great place to start. Look up when your next local election is, figure out what the candidates around you stand for, and if no one stands for anything good and you are of age and of the type of mind that could handle that, then consider getting involved directly yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, next year in Brazil we have elections. So
There you go.
let's please do something about it.
Go out and vote. Not just the big ones. Vote in all of them. If it's like
especially the smaller ones. That makes a whole fucking difference you have no idea about.
And look at like the little volunteer things that somehow like end up having like grassroots influence and stuff. Like just get involved in your local community, and together we can do actual trickle down, I was going to say economics, but trickle down goodness and make change collectively.
Exactly.